In the late 1980s, Iraq embarked on one of the most ambitious and controversial weapons engineering projects of the 20th century. The goal was to build a gun so enormous that its barrel would stretch more than 150 meters, capable of launching projectiles hundreds of kilometers away. Known as Project Babylon, it was championed by Canadian engineer Gerald and funded by the government of Saddam Hussein. Supporters argued it could be used for peaceful satellite launches. Critics believed it could become a strategic weapon capable of striking neighboring countries. Before the project was completed, Bull was assassinated, key components were intercepted, and the Supergun never fired. Was Project Babylon a technological breakthrough, an impractical dream, or a dangerous weapons program? This is the story of one of the most extraordinary engineering projects of the Cold War era. Gerald Bull was a Canadian engineer fascinated by long-range artillery. During the 1960s, he worked on the High Altitude Research Project, HARP, a joint U.S.-Canadian effort that explored using very large guns to launch scientific payloads into the upper atmosphere. Bull believed artillery could provide a much cheaper way to place small payloads at high altitude than conventional rockets. Although HARP achieved impressive technical results, government funding ended before the concept could be fully developed. Bull spent the following decades pursuing ever more powerful artillery systems. The Iran-Iraq War ended in 1988 after 8 years of devastating conflict. Iraq emerged heavily indebted, but with an extensive military-industrial infrastructure. Saddam Hussein sought advanced military technologies to strengthen Iraq's regional position. His government invested in missiles, armored vehicles, chemical weapons programs, and long-range artillery research. It was in this environment that Gerald Bull was recruited to help develop an unprecedented supergun. Project Babylon reportedly included two main concepts: Baby Babylon, a smaller prototype designed to test engineering principles. It measured roughly 45 meters in length and demonstrated that constructing very large fixed artillery pieces was technically feasible. Big Babylon. The proposed full-scale weapon was extraordinary. Historical reports describe a barrel approximately 156 meters long with a caliber of about 1 meter. The barrel alone was expected to weigh more than 1,500 tons. Unlike conventional artillery, Big Babylon would have been permanently mounted into the side of a hillside. Because of its enormous size, it could not be aimed like a normal gun. Instead, engineers would adjust the angle only slightly, requiring careful preparation before each shot. The intended purpose of Project Babylon remains debated. Gerald Bull publicly promoted the idea that such a gun could launch scientific payloads or small satellites at lower cost than rockets. Military analysts, however, noted several possible strategic uses. A fixed supergun could, in theory, fire long-range conventional shells, launch specialized projectiles over very long distances, serve as a psychological and political symbol of military power. However, such a weapon would also have major limitations. Its enormous size would make it impossible to conceal. Its fixed position would make it vulnerable to airstrikes. It would also have a relatively slow rate of fire compared with missile systems. Many defense experts questioned whether a supergun offered meaningful advantages over increasingly capable ballistic missiles. On March 22, 1990, Gerald Bull was shot and killed outside his apartment in Brussels, Belgium. The murder remains officially unsolved. Numerous theories have been proposed over the years. Some commentators have speculated about involvement by intelligence services concerned about Iraq's weapons programs, while others have suggested alternative motives. No definitive evidence has publicly established responsibility, and no one has been convicted. Bull's death effectively deprived Project Babylon of its chief designer. Soon after Bull's death, customs authorities in several countries intercepted large steel tube sections destined for Iraq. Investigations concluded that many of these components were intended for the supergun. As international concern over Iraq's weapons programs grew, export controls tightened. Following Iraq's invasion of Kuwait in August 1990 and the subsequent Gulf War in 1991, coalition forces and later United Nations inspectors dismantled or destroyed remaining components associated with Project Babylon. The Supergun was never completed or fired as an operational weapon. Project Babylon occupies a unique place in military history. It combined ambitious engineering, Cold War geopolitics, and the ambitions of Saddam Hussein's government. Whether viewed as an innovative attempt to revive giant artillery or an impractical military project, it demonstrated both the possibilities and limits of engineering on an extraordinary scale. The project also highlighted the growing international effort to monitor the spread of technologies with potential military applications. Today, Project Babylon remains a subject of fascination for historians, engineers, and military analysts. Not because it changed warfare, but because it showed how technological ambition, political power, and international security concerns could converge in a single, unfinished project. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more in-depth videos on military history, engineering, and geopolitics. Thanks for watching.